Yeah.
What is Shruti and Smriti? Religious texts or scriptural texts can broadly be divided into two categories, the Shruti text and the Smriti text. Shruti texts are those texts which are considered to be ultimate authority, and Smriti texts are those which are subservient to the Shruti text. Shruti means that which was heard, and Smriti means that which was remembered. So when you hear something means what it's referring to is you hear the voice of your conscience. Smriti is what you remember. It is the do's and don'ts, it is what is right and what is wrong, what is moral and immoral according to the society, according to the times you live in, according to the society that you are in. Shruti texts are considered to be basic principles. They are Sanatana Dharma. Sanatana Dharma, Sanatana eternal Dharma principles. They are Sanatana Dharma in the sense that they are applicable to all people at all times. And Smriti texts are those texts which are applicable to some people at some times. Now, texts like the Upanishads are considered to be Shruti, but there is Manusmriti, which is obviously a Smriti. Now, this division between the Shruti, which is applicable to all human beings at all times, and Smriti, which is what you have remembered, which are the laws, the do's and don'ts, is not merely a textual division in the sense that some texts are Shruti and some are Smriti. Within the text too, some statements are Shruti, meaning the Sanatana Dharma, and some are Smriti. Now, the Smriti texts are texts that are derived from the Shruti literature. These are the texts that have taken the principles, the eternal principles, and applied it to people. Any great religious saint, godman who came realized that it's not always possible to communicate eternal principles because people do not know how to convert eternal principles into their actual lives. So what they did, many of them did, was they took these principles and applied it to their people at that time, much like what a doctor does. The doctor knows medicine, but he gives you a prescription. So that's what many of the saints did. Now, these prescriptions are applicable to you. But if you say, no, my doctor was a great man and therefore whatever prescription he gave is applicable to all people, then it doesn't work like that. So the great saints, they said that, you need to do this now. Like maybe Christ. When Christ gave out his sermons, he said that if someone smotes thee on one cheek, you lend him the other. He was talking to fishermen who were quarreling, and so he had to take the stance that if someone slaps you on one cheek, just give him the other, practice forgiveness. The Bible has Moses saying, an eye for an eye, because he was talking to a passive group of people who would not raise arms, who would not go against the injustice against them. So these are the statements that are given at particular times to deal with particular problems. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna tells Arjuna, come on, get up man, go fight. Go fight the war, that's your duty. Uttishta parantapa, pick up your weapons and fight. That doesn't mean you go home and you tell your grandmother, get up granny, get up and go fight. It's not applicable to her because it is Smriti. It is also known as Matam. Matam is opinion. It is the opinion of the Prophet given to a certain section in a certain period of time applicable to them. Muhammad said, maybe you can take a statement like you can marry 4 times. He gave it in a certain context to a certain set of people. Now you have to consider whether that is universally applicable or applicable under certain circumstances where there are fewer men. Where there is war, it has ravaged the nation, there are fewer people. So a certain advice is given. It's very different from the other advice which says, La ilaha illallah, there is only one God and He is Allah. This is Sanatana Dharma. There is only one God. You can call Him by any name, but there is only one God. This is Sanatana Dharma. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna's advice to Arjuna, the matam, is go fight. But the Sanatana Dharma, the Shruti in it says, Chapimam vidhi sarva kshetreshu bharata. Kshetragnyam chapimam vidhi sarva kshetreshu bharata. O Bharata, understand me to be the Kshetragnya, the enlivening principle in all kshetras, in all fields. This is Sanatana Dharma. God is the enlivening principle within us. It's true for all people at all times. These matams, whenever matam was given, whenever an opinion was given by a prophet, these then later on became the isms, the religions. All religions draw their source from the Sanatana Dharma, from the eternal principles. Sometimes we give more importance to the matams than we give to the Sanatana Dharma. And this is what is causing all the problem in religion today. We seem to forget that any saint, any great man will tell us things which are eternally true and will tell us things which are particularly applicable to us. It is for us to make that distinction as to which statement was an eternal principle and which statement was an opinion. The opinion given to certain people in a certain geographical location in a certain period of time. When we mix these two concepts up, what is an eternal principle and what is an application of that principle, then we get into what are known as these religious quarrels. We get into religious problems. Actually, isn't that an impossible thing? What is a religious problem? What is a religious opposition? These are impossible terms. It can't happen. But when we do not understand the eternal principles as differentiated from the religions, the Shruti as differentiated from the Smriti, then that's where the problems start in religiosity.